Welcome back to my channel. Stay with me as we expand our knowledge with videos from all over the internet that's going to reshape your reality. Let's just start.
What's something you'll get a lot of hate for if you say it out loud?
I'm about to lose a big chunk of my followers, but I have to say it. Ghosts can't harm the living. If they could, there would probably be only a handful of Caucasians left in this world.
True that. True that.
You think this is a bench?
Solar panel.
Actually, you can charge your phone. And this is a solar power.
Man, China is in the future, huh?
And there is even a little table that you can put your coffee on. And this is just a simple bench.
I want to know what the ring means to you on your hand when you sleep with other people as well, or when your wife sleeps with other people as well. What does the ring mean to you, and what does your sex life mean to you when you know that when your wife knows that you're with other people and your wife's with other people, knowing that? I don't mean that in any disrespect.
No.
It's genuine. I'm genuinely curious.
I mean, to me, it just represents that I'm 100% committed emotionally, and anything beyond that to the life that me and my wife are building together. Like, to me, I did like an orgy scene the other day, and it was like 5 girls that I'm actually friends with to varying degrees, but a lot of these girls are girls I've hung out around, dozens and dozens of times. We're really cool. We follow each other on social media, like talking to DMs, everything like that. 0% of it is like any kind of like weird sexual vibe or whatever, but at the same time I'm totally attracted to them, and doing this orgy, I'm able to like go into that environment, sort of switch over into this like different character, and I'm sleeping with 5-6 girls, including my wife, at the same time, and there's other dudes in the scene as well. And to me, it's like, if anything, it's very liberating to be able to like enjoy that kind of scenario and to make content out of it.
In that viral hack where you ask them just for ice and then you ask for your actual drink on the side.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Because usually
There's
there's
a
so much
cheat
ice they
code.
put in, then so always get your ice on the side, and
That's
then
crazy.
you'll have multiple drinks.
That would last somebody a whole day. They're drinking it on ice.
Yeah.
That's like 3 cups of coffee.
And it doesn't get watered down. Isn't that perfect? Look at this.
I might have missed like the first shot. I was genuinely shocked. That's insane.
Look how much I use. I only use
What?
1/3. And they just
Just
filling it up
1/3.
this much.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy. Starbucks are cheating.
That?
Well, I get coffee. So.
Oh yeah, you can't really do that coffee. Well, whenever you get me,
iced coffee.
yeah, whenever you get me iced coffee,
For sure.
get your ice on the side.
For sure. Is there a trash can nearby?
Have y'all seen China's luxury fucking cars? I just watched a whole ass video about it. Them bitches are blowing
Man,
everybody
China
out. I've never seen a
is on
car
a
like this.
different level.
What the fuck?
Whoa.
It's submerged in water and it's still moving. Bitch, that's a boat. Okay, there's more.
Obviously,
This
that's a
car
boat.
is moving to its side. The wheels literally turned 180 on me. Oh my god. This is their electric car. This is insane. I can see why the US was fucking salty. Y'all are not fucking with them. I can see why y'all banned these cars. They are blowing y'all out the water. This is what people thought of the future would look like with cars when they thought of cars. And it's like half the price of an actual real luxurious car.
Yeah,
like
true.
it'd go
It's very
under
cheap.
100,000 or under 80,000. I'm just fucking shocked.
If only y'all knew
It's
what
crazy.
they put in the most expensive perfumes and colognes. For example, Baccarat Rouge. Or a lot of the perfumes, which is the female side of the collections. If only y'all knew what they put in these things to make them not only just last a lot longer, but attract other people. Y'all might think, well, it's just really great pheromones and all. No, actually, they put, and let's just say allegedly, right? Because you're not gonna find an article saying that, hey guys, we put this in here, obviously, right? But a lot of these perfumes and colognes, you gotta be careful, have witchcraft in them.
Oh, really?
And a lot of the witchcraft that they put in
really?
these colognes and perfumes is a drop of blood. And a lot of the
Oh,
times,
really?
those drops of blood come from things
really?
like babies or like things that are sacrificed, or even
How true is
demon
this?
blood. And so you might think,
This
oh,
is
you're
crazy.
just capping, you're just talking. Source, trust me, bro. Why do y'all think the most expensive colognes are, one, more expensive? Y'all might say, well, it's because of the brand. What do these brands practice? Think of Balenciaga, think of Versace. Think about who they worship and what they practice and the things that they do. Y'all don't think
Man,
that
this
they
is
put
creepy,
that
and
also
I
in
love
their
fragrances, man.
colognes and perfumes? Think about it. Really think about it. Now, I'll leave y'all with this caveat right here, okay? Think about what they put on these bottles and the gauze that they put on these bottles. Like Versace, the gauze that they put on a Versace bottle. Think about these, and I'm not saying that I think it's the most expensive perfumes in colognes. The ones that have a lot, the ones that are a lot older and have, the ones that are a lot older and they made back in the day and things like that. Those are the ones you gotta watch out for.
I might just wait here for a little bit. I'm Dolly Pants.
For those wondering, this is the name of the hotel from that first clip. It's in Austria, and this is the exact location. What's awesome is that it's only 1 hour away from the Dolomites. It's only a few hours away from the town that inspired the movie Frozen. Now, this is the name of the specific room they stayed in. But if you don't want to wait 2 years, you can stay at this room for 320
Oh, it's
euros.
cheap.
Or if that's too expensive, I found this cabin
not
in the
really
same
expensive.
area and this one in Switzerland, both for $200 per
Oh,
night.
it's
If you don't
very
follow this page, I
affordable.
find the coolest things around the world to do, and then I share them with you. So make sure you follow for more.
Very affordable, man. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. How can you fly like that? What's going on? How? It's flying like a UFO. It's crazy. How does it fly like that? And how do we even control it like that? Oh, it's not crashing. This is epic. Somebody's not real close, man. You're going to puke after this. If it was to be real. What? How? How?
Don't let them fool you. AI does not mean artificial intelligence. AI means
Ancestral knowledge.
Because that's what artificial intelligence is. It is the collection of all knowledge and wisdom that has ever existed, and it's put in a machine. Ancestral intelligence is when all information that has ever existed, will exist, and exists now is put in your mind. And all you got to do is call on it. And our ancestors are there for it. Because we got to get back academically to where we were. Our people were geniuses. We taught them what they know.
You think they wise? I could shoot 10 skits in one day, and I could go to Africa and turn my phone off. And that's immediately gonna make about 150. And over time, them 10 skits gonna make 1.5 million.
What?
Because you residually, you get to repost them. It changed my life to the point you can't even count the money no more. And I went from 13,000 to damn sure being able to count it. And I ain't paying this bill, I ain't paying that bill. Till a year later, I literally can't count my money.
Just a reminder for anybody that didn't know, in 1582, Pope Gregory XIII changed the calendar to a Gregorian calendar. Originally, the new year started in April, and the Gregorian calendar started in January 1st. For hundreds of years before this occurrence happened, it was a 13-month calendar based on the cycles of the moon. It doesn't make sense that January would be the start of the new year when in the spring, April, is when everything starts to blossom and grow. In Ethiopia, they're in the year 2017. Yeah, you heard me correctly. And us, we're going into 2025. The only reason is because they still follow the 13th month calendar. It's also important to mention that the first Bible in Africa came from Ethiopia. And that whole stigma about April 1st being April Fools ties into this. Me personally, I believe that the new year starts in April around that time because this is hibernation time. This is get in your crib and run for cover. You could feel the changes in life. You could feel a new spark once spring starts coming around. We're on a biological clock and people seem to forget that. Question everything.
Things that are normal in the United States
Question
and
everything.
absolutely illegal in Russia. Number one, in Russia, you cannot be legally, openly express that you are gay. You cannot kiss in public, you cannot hold hands, you cannot dress inappropriately, accordingly with your gender. Also, you cannot change your gender, so if you do, you're considered
I think it's going to
criminal.
lash you
It's
when
like
you do that.
falsificating your
It's
documents or something. If before it was on a social disapproval level, now it's on governmental level. Number two, it is illegal in Russia to publicly say that you're child-free or advocate for child-free lifestyle. Saying that it's good, that you're happy. You're supposed to spread family values and support Family Institute. And number three, it is illegal to publicly support Russian opponents in military conflicts.
Okay.
You cannot verbally support, you cannot financially support, and if you do, you're considered a traitor and you face time in jail. What do you guys think about it?
That's good. That's cool. What's that? What's that?
If finding owls was a game, you just found the final boss. Meet the Eurasian eagle owl. They stand about 3 feet tall with a wingspan of nearly 7 feet.
Oh!
Sideways, they could play in the NBA. They're also the strongest owl with a grip strength of around 700
Like an
pounds per
eagle.
square inch. Go ahead, ball up your fist as hard as you could. Now remember that there's a bird that could do it 10 times harder. Not to mention, this is what they're grabbing them with. Those things
Look at
can
the
make your
claws.
internals become external. But then again, what do you expect from a bird that's known to hunt sheep and deer and other birds of prey, especially other birds of prey?
It looks
That's
like
their favorite flavor.
an eagle.
They don't like competition.
A scary
In fact,
eagle.
one zoo made the mistake of putting golden eagles and owls into the same cage, and the zookeepers came out to find pieces of eagles and owls with full bellies. And the worst part is you can never see it coming. You see, they have serrated wings, which cuts through the wind and reduces the sound. But not only that, they have pockets in their wings that absorbs any sound that they do make, which allows them to fly completely silent. Not quiet, silent. That's how things like this are possible.
Just creep up on you, man.
We are going to see a crazy surge in prostitution in the next 10 years because we will pick prostitution over a family. I interviewed 1,000 women in a year, and it showed me the dark realities of what is going on during this year. I saw women leave their husbands over no reason. I saw women that had children go out every night of the week. And the most depressing part was how common prostitution has become. We are going to see a crazy surge in prostitution in the next 10 years. I would not be surprised if it gets legalized in all the major cities, because from what I have seen, we will pick prostitution over a family. I'm not saying that's good, but we're seeing a huge surgence of OnlyFans models of women when they're 18, 19, 20, 21 years old. Women at that age have the option to get married, and they are choosing prostitution. You see them going on Aiden Ross's stream. You see them getting invited to all the hot parties. Again, that's more fun and exciting to many women than a family.
I heard you could buy a home in Japan.
That's crazy,
$1.
isn't
Is that
it?
true?
This generation
Yes,
is
it's
fucked.
absolutely true. You can buy a house in Japan for $1. And the reason is that the local authorities have figured out that there's so many abandoned homes, and the only way to revive them is to get people into them, to purchase them, revive them, and
This is
stimulate
smart.
tourism in those areas.
How is somebody that's meant to be with you supposed to find you if you're busy trying to fit yourself into places you don't belong?
They won't find me.
Correct. So, learning that you're not on this planet to be somebody's husband, you're not on this planet to find the one.
Right.
You're on the planet to, like, get the most out of your life that you can and build this beautiful life, and then somebody gets to share it with you when you figure out, like, what makes you feel good.
Do you want to fall in love again?
Sure.
But just not right now.
Tomorrow.
Today, right now.
Why not?
You giving everyone hope right now.
See, here's the thing, because it's like love, man. If you go looking for it, you're not gonna find
True.
it.
True is up,
Because
Rocky.
love comes to you.
Yeah.
You know what they say. Never go grocery shopping when you're hungry. You grab the wrong things.
True.
Same as in life.
Yeah, right.
Never go into a relationship when you feel lonely. You might grab the wrong thing. Think about it.
It's deep.
When you're desperate, you grab anything you want, not what you need. And I want you to get only what you need and that is the best.
That's
Y'all
interesting.
definitely gotta be careful on Indeed. So I had a friend just tell me the story of a woman who she put in some applications on Indeed or whatever, you know, just do it. She applies to this call center, or so she thought. So she applies, she gets the interview, good. Now they send her the location. This is where things get a little bit iffy. The location is some warehouse. She still has the number that contacted her. She calls to confirm that this is the address. She walks in, she sits down and waits for her interview. There's a man who comes from the back room and he approaches her and says, "Hey, I'm such and such. We've been texting. Come for your interview. Come to the back." She goes in this back room with this man. I'ma just cut the chase. The next day she was reported missing. 2 months later, they find her in the woods.
In the woods?
You know what. Y'all, be careful.
Dead?
Stay dangerous. Be
What
very
happened?
mindful.
You didn't
of-
say anything.
Indeed. The scams are so ridiculous. But not only are they scams, there are unimaginable evils waiting for the opportunity.
Nobody talks about this, but the scariest thing that could happen to a man in a relationship is getting a random late night text message, especially if your girl is outside when she texts you with her friends or on a vacation or some shit, because at that point you pretty much know you're cooked. And it's crazy because if you're not really paying attention, you would think your girl is texting you because she loves you and because she misses you, but you have
She's about
to
to Marvin Gaye
understand
get it on.
if she's texting you randomly late at night and she's spamming your phone like this, then the odds are she probably just got her shit clapped and now she feels guilty. It's really the
it's been
only
over, like, it has
explanation.
already
I mean, there
happened.
is
That's
that
crazy.
small chance that she actually misses you and she actually loves you. But my nigga, let's be real for a second.
It's real game,
It is
man.
2025. The odds are not in your favor.
This is why, if you are a rich man, if you are an athlete, always get a prenup. I can't
course,
believe this. So
prenups
this is
are
Iman Shumpert,
necessary.
a former NBA player. You guys might recognize him from his podcast. He's a very good storyteller. He tells like NBA stories. And him and his wife, Tiana Taylor, have just got divorced, right? And before I show you what he has to pay, I just want to show you her net worth, right? I know it's not fully accurate, but she has a net worth of 5 million. She's a famous person. She's successful. I've recognized that name. And he has a net worth of 16 million. Once again, I do know this is not fully accurate, right? But she is receiving at least $10 million in property, a 7-figure payout, luxury vehicles, a 300,000 car, 70,000 car, and a tour bus. And on top of that, she can keep all of her businesses, but he has to pay for their kids, and he has to pay for 8,000 in child support. And I don't want to seem misogynistic, because believe it or not, my mom, I love her, is a woman. My sisters are both women, so I do love women. But the whole family court divorce, all the settlement money stuff is favored for women. So if you are a successful man, please, like, she might love you today and you're like, oh, I don't need a prenup, I don't need to protect my assets. But tomorrow she might be in love with your personal trainer, bro.
Of course,
with
yeah,
her
emotional
personal
wounds,
trainer.
man.
Look after your money, guys, because she's a successful woman. I don't want to hate on her, because this is the judge's ruling. But guys, look after your money, look after your assets.
Incredible. This is a country where
this is
infrastructure
crazy.
construction knows no bounds. In China, road projects defy both gravity and imagination. The workers, unsung heroes of these feats, take immense risks to assemble these colossal structures. Without harnesses or visible safety gear, they scale dizzying heights on construction bridges, braving the elements and danger as part of their daily routine. These projects showcase remarkable determination and outstanding expertise.
Man, this people are
there's
so
more.
determined.
China
That is
boasts
true.
some of the world's most spectacular and
So
unique
determined.
roads. Some, painted in
What?
striking red, blend seamlessly into breathtaking landscapes, turning each journey into an unforgettable experience. Others cling to towering cliffs, stretching for miles as if suspended between sky and earth. Driving on these roads feels like stepping into a science fiction film, surrounded by surreal panoramas. Every year, China builds thousands of kilometers of roads, sometimes in places once
The moment this song was released, it wasn't supposed to be released. You remember Sia, the very talented artist that never showed her face, but there was a reason for that. Y'all wouldn't stop making fun of her. Before this music video comes out, Sia made it publicly known she suffers from anxiety and showed her face once and got cooked. She didn't want to be on stage. She created a song called Diamonds, but instead of releasing it, gave it to Rihanna because she knew one day she would have to perform it in front of people. That's when she met a guy named David and did what she normally does and wrote a song for him and even sent him a clip of how it's supposed to be sung. So he takes the song and tries to find somebody to sing it. He asks Katy Perry, she says no. He asks Alicia Keys, she says no. He goes back to Sia and says, Sia, please let me use your voice on the song. No one else can sing it like you. So she agrees and the song blows up, triple platinum. But remember, she refuses to be on stage. That means no music videos, no concerts, and no one sees what she looks like. So she wasn't present in the music videos. She was so scared to be seen, she would walk around in brown paper bags. That's when Sia met a girl named Maddie from the show Dance Moms. She saw a lot of herself in her and looked at Maddie sort of like an artistic muse of herself. So she asked her, only 11 by the way, to be the version of her that she always wanted to be. And she made her the star of her biggest music video ever called Chandelier. But this is where it got a little strange. Everywhere you saw Sia, you saw Maddie. Sia would refuse to write songs unless the video featured Maddie. She would only perform on stage facing the crowd if Maddie was with her. Otherwise, she had her back turned while performing. She wouldn't go to award shows without her, wouldn't walk the red carpet without her, but this is fine, right? She's becoming a star. That's until Sia had another idea. Sia decided to release a movie called Music about a teenage nonverbal autistic girl being adopted. And she chooses Maddie to play the role of the teenage girl on the spectrum, but she's not on the spectrum. Actually, even Maddie didn't think this was a good idea. She told Sia she felt like she was making fun of people on the spectrum and even cried at the fact she was forced to do the role. You're wondering, well, how was she forced? Maddie was the face of Sia's entire brand, so to make sure she never leaves, she had her under a contract. And that's why a lot of people accuse Sia of financially grooming her, because when the movie comes out, they're calling it out left and right. Calling it out, saying it's one of the most harmful and hurtful movies they've ever seen. And even calling the movie ironic because it has so many bright colors and sounds, it made it difficult for people on the spectrum to even watch it. And to choose someone that's not on the spectrum to play the main character when there were so many options just seemed like a smack in the face to an entire community. And when they called Sia out, she said, hold up, man, y'all just hate, and I had a few people up in there that was doing their thing. Y'all just mad I ain't cast y'all. Actually, the movie did so bad and got so much hate, it got endorsed by an anti-company that's against people on the spectrum. And because of all this hate and being labeled an ableist, Sia decided to take a step back and go to rehab. And is now better and still performing, but people never really forgave her.
While most luxury hotel brands face hype, Aman stays silent. And that's exactly why it's the most exclusive hotel brand in the world. Let's break it down. Swiss-based Aman has built a luxury empire on mystique. No overexposure, just flawless service, breathtaking locations, and a level of exclusivity no competitor can match. Aman redefines luxury hospitality with a radical concept. Small, ultra-private retreats that blend seamlessly into their surroundings. No overcrowded pools, just sanctuaries of peace. So how did Aman establish itself as the gold standard for quiet luxury and hospitality? Number one is privacy as the ultimate luxury. Aman is where people go when they don't want to be seen. The staff are strictly prohibited from discussing guests. Some locations are so secluded you might never see another guest during your stay. And a few locations require a private jet or helicopter just to reach them. Next is the anti-hotel model. Most luxury hotels compete on grandeur. Aman competes with tranquility and space. Fewer than 50 rooms per property, some have as few as 20. This ensures unparalleled intimacy and an almost personal residence feel. Next is service that feels psychic. At some Aman properties, the staff-to-guest ratio is 6:1. They keep detailed guest profiles, tracking everything from your pillow preference to your favorite wine. Number 4, it's timeless, not trendy. No influencer sponsorships or flashy campaigns, just minimalism and architectural perfection. Aman's design philosophy, disappear into the environment. Aman Jivo in Indonesia aligns begins with the sacred Borobudur Temple. Amangiri in Utah blends into the desert, and Amman at Summer Palace in Beijing is set inside a UNESCO site. It's an immersion into history, nature, and culture. Next is the Amman lifestyle. They don't just sell hotel stays, but also experiences and aesthetics. From private sunrise access to temples, to monk blessings in Bhutan, and sailing through Indonesia's marine reserves, Amman curates once-in-a-lifetime experiences. And lastly, the challenge of imitation. Luxury hoteliers love to say they're building the next Amman, but here's the issue. Amman took over 3 decades to build. Its owner, Vladislav Doronin, doesn't just run the brand, he embodies it. You can copy the architecture, but you can't replicate the philosophy, the reputation, or the cult-like devotion of Amman's guests and word-of-mouth strategy. No hype, no noise. Amman wins with flawless service, legendary locations, and a minimalist ethos, and luxuries evolving. Less hype, more mystique. Will other brands manage to follow, or is Amman in a league of its own?
The world's terrorists are the United States. Look what we did to Iraq. Look what we did to Libya. Libya, the most successful country in all of Africa. The guy created the 8th wonder of the world with the way how he delivered water and turned deserts into farmland. And everybody had a house, and everybody had education and healthcare. And we turned it into a failed state run by terrorists with open slave markets. Who did that? Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton did that, and they'll never have to pay a price for that. Barack Obama, the most he'll do is go, "Yep, that was a mistake."
But why did they get rid of Gaddafi?
Because he was going to start a currency of Africa that was going to compete with the U.S. dollar and the euro, and they can't have that because the way the United States controls the world is because the United States dollar is the reserve currency of the world. So that's why they can put sanctions on all these countries. And so what they're doing, which they shouldn't do, they're weaponizing the U.S. dollar. And so like when countries want to trade with each other, they have to go take their currency, change it into U.S. dollars so they can trade. And a lot of it was based on the petrodollar, which, by the way, Saudi Arabia just quit. They didn't renew it. I don't know if you heard about that.
Yeah, I did hear about that.
So, and all of a sudden, CBS News is starting to do news stories about how Saudi Arabia was involved in 9/11. Really? All of a sudden, 24 years later, all of a sudden, oh, you know what? Turns out there was something happened with it. And they're like, you mean 2 weeks after they decided to not renew the petrodollar? Now CBS News is allowed to talk about that and investigate it, which when I talked about it got demonetized. But anyway, that's why, because Gaddafi was doing that. He was going to set up a currency for all of Africa, and it was going to be based on, have a gold standard. And so they're like, no, you're not.
Harvard students say they can tell if you're emotionally intelligent just by the way you answer these 3 questions. Question number 1 is, what's the number one thing that makes you lash out at somebody? If your answer was something along the lines of, it's when people do X or when somebody says XYZ, you might not be the most emotionally intelligent person. When an emotionally intelligent person feels upset, they look inward versus blaming other people. Question number 2 is, at what moment do you realize that you're upset? Because if you can notice that you're upset before you lash out, then you're more emotionally intelligent than most people. And question number 3 is, what do you do once you notice you're upset? The people who aren't emotionally intelligent generally suppress their anger or get really quiet, while emotionally intelligent people explain their emotions as soon as they can.
Hey Donald, be honest. This is the real reason you're going after Canada, isn't it?
This is funny. And sometimes you never know when you meet a psycho. Meet Senna. Meet Valkyrie. They was in that last picture I showed you. Look, they're right over here in the back. Anyway, Senna and Valkyrie are streamers. Very popular ones. In fact, one day they decide, you know what? Let's do a subathon. And what a subathon is a streamer will continuously stream as long as people subscribe to them. Subscribing to them like someone would subscribe to Netflix. You subscribe to them and they'll keep streaming. Usually people will cap it at like a month. But see, Senna and Valkyrie had a problem. As you live stream, you're live. So wherever you are in the world is wherever you are in the world. So they decide to go outside with another streamer named Amaru. As they're walking about, they run into this guy named Russell. Russell says, oh my gosh, y'all are my favorite streamers. Like he just ran into them by coincidence. But people know the game by now. This is why you see some streamers walk around with security, because too many people run into them by coincidence. But boy was just asking for a picture. So the girl said, all right, come on. Take the picture. Boom. They said, all right, for sure. We out. They start leaving. Boy says, hey, can I hang out with y'all? Oh, and here we go. And boy got that mad shifty energy. He's talking about, can I hang out? They're like, you know what? We gotta go. Like, we gotta go. He says, all right, for sure. And to all my young men out there who just don't understand, if she look at you like this, she don't like you. If she look at you like this, no, she not smiling at you. She's smiling because she's uncomfortable. She don't like you. You need to leave. So the girls are walking along to get to their destination, having a good time, and they run into this dude. Does he look familiar? They said, nah, ain't no way that's bro. He not that crazy. He said, No, I'm that crazy. Don't get it twisted. And here's where things start to get wicked. Yeah, look a little closer. Russell from earlier had a quick little outfit change and ran into them again. At this point, the streamers, as you could probably imagine, are freaked out, but they're still trying to keep it cool, kind of laughing it off a little bit. But then Broski starts to empty the clip with his weirdness. He says, strap in, "Can I sing?" They said, "What?"
Why would you want to sing?
Matter of fact, can I have your number? He's specifically asking this streamer, Emaru, for her number. The girl who looked at him like this. She said, "Ooh, I don't got a phone." He said, "Don't worry, I got a phone. You can just put your number on mine." The streamers look at bro like, come on. He said, "You know what? All right, let me just crash out." He gets up and starts to lose it. He says out his own mouth, "All right, I'm going to just keep following you then."
What?
They leave. They still laughing it off a little bit. They look back. Broski following them. At this point, the cameraman kind of in front of them, trying to block them. Broski starts to lose it on the cameraman a little bit. Talking about, "You want to scrap? You want to go?" Senna immediately, shout out Senna, jumps in front of her friends, puts them behind her, and starts screaming for security. Security rushes in. At least I think it was security, because you can't really like make them out in the video. The security guard goes, "Hey, what's the problem?" And suddenly Russell, the weird shifty dude that's following them, yells out, "Man, I'm a somebody." Starts reaching in his pocket, and boom, that was it. The girls take off screaming. They run into a store saying, "Help, help, somebody's trying to..." At this point, the camera's off. They mentioned this part afterwards. So the store people are just kind of looking at them. They don't really know what to do. And finally, one store person grabs them and brings them to the back. They call the police. Bro saw them go into the store and said, "Ooh, the block is hot." So he decides to leave. Too many people. Well, for some reason, the store people told Senna, Valkyrie, and Emaru, the streamers, to leave. And so they hide in a shed for 15 minutes waiting for police. They assured their fans that they were okay and all was good. Psych, stupid. Another problem arises. The internet. As many of you are probably aware, some people on the internet just don't have sense.
True.
They're trying to figure something out.
That's so true.
People were online saying this interaction was staged. That's what the girls get for not having bodyguards. The cameraman should have threw the camera down and started throwing hands. Now that last one isn't too unreasonable, but the problem is you're focused on the wrong guy. And you don't know what the cameraman was doing behind the scenes. So Senna and Valkyrie went live to address the situation. They said, first of all, they had to stop their subathon because, they got to process everything. Second of all, the police are involved. Third of all, the cameraman was doing the best he could in that situation. And then they start breaking into tears. Well, because it's a traumatizing event. A dude is reaching into his pocket saying, you think it might be your last day. If you find yourself blaming these streamers in any capacity, instead of just blaming bro right here for being psychotic, then wisdom is chasing you, but you are faster. And that's your twin. You twinning them.
Wisdom is chasing you, but you're faster. Crazy.
All my young women out there. If you ever find yourself in a situation like this, my advice to you is guys are weird. If you even shake wrong, run. Zero politeness 2025.
Zero politeness 2025.
Leave immediately. If they keep following you, scream for help like these young ladies did, and you keep asking until somebody helps you.
This is a good advice.
90% of the time, being polite and just saying no thank you will work. But at 10% chance you meet a real weirdo that just won't take no for an answer, those numbers are too great for me. So just walk away. Most dudes will understand. If it's a weirdo and he follows you, we here now. It's time to start asking for help. If you're the type of person that carries pepper spray on him, then strike first. Let that thing fly. You're helping him. He not gonna do it again. Man, it really is a shame. You can't just go out and live like... You telling me I gotta look over my shoulder because I'm a woman? Stop playing. All the best for the streamers. Wishing them the best. Wishing the worst for the weirdo.
My grandma used to always say, if you don't like somebody, don't talk about them. If someone's doing something bad to you, don't talk about them. Don't give any energy towards them, because the more energy you give someone, the better off they will be. They will do well in life, things will go well for them, and you'll be like, oh, they did me wrong, and yet look how well they're doing. I didn't really believe it at the time. I didn't really think too much about it. But recently I watched this video where this guy was talking about energy pendulums, how everything, every person, every politician, everything, any subject you want to think about is an energy pendulum, and the more energy people give it, whether they're talking bad about it, good about it, but they're giving their energy, they're feeding this pendulum their energy. And the way it works is the pendulum with the most energy wins. And people forget that their energy, their attention to things is very, very powerful. Now, whether I like someone or not, I don't really want anyone to do badly in life. But if you're being horrible to me, I don't want to waste my energy on building you up. And I know it's hard, it's annoying, because when people do you wrong, you want to talk about it, you want to talk about them, you want to vent all this frustration out. And you know what? Do what you got to do to make yourself feel better. But just remember, the more energy and attention you give something, the bigger and bigger it gets, the more it wins, the more it prospers. And if you think about it, that's kind of how everything works. The more attention and energy you give to something, the more it increases, whether you want it or not. You tend to see more of it, you tend to experience more of it because you've given it your energy. It just grows and grows. So when I heard this in the video, it reminded me of what my grandma used to say. If you don't like them, don't talk about them. They don't exist. You are above that. Your energy is so powerful. Don't give it to them. If you don't like what they're doing, you don't like what they are.
I like that.
Don't contribute to them
so
winning
much.
whilst being this awful person. Don't do it.
I keep telling y'all, stop playing with these paranormal beings. You're going to find yourself in a mental hospital, or even something worse. You're going to find yourself in the afterlife. So the lady in Utah whose family seen the duende in the yard did an update. And in this update, she says she did research on what a duende is. It's not a gnome. She understands that it is an evil being. But what does she do? She continues to entice this being. That is the wrong thing to do. Now, for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, let me run the story back real fast. A family, mother, father, and son moved from Vegas to Utah. In Utah, they're cooking out in their backyard, and the son and the father see a gnome running around. A gnome, a small person, but it's really not a gnome. It's a duende. Tell the mom/wife she can't see it because she's not spiritually in tune, but she wants to see it. What does she do? She sets out offerings for it. Pennies, she set out a basketball. They go out for the day, and when they come back, the pennies and the basketball that she set up was in a different order. The pennies were stacked on top of each other, and the basketball was gone. And I know a lot of you probably saying that that's not real, but y'all better pay attention. Now on to the update. So what happens now? She puts cameras in her yard, and she puts out more offerings. After she reads up and finds out that this thing allegedly is an evil paranormal being. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you go look it up. Go look up duende and see exactly what you see. She also found out that people in Utah, in her neighborhood, in her area, have seen duendes. Knowing what this thing can do, knowing how possessive this thing is, knowing how powerful this thing is, she still wants to entice this thing. She laid out elves. She even laid out an elf house for this thing to continuously come back.
It's crazy.
After she got information on this thing, I'm gonna tell y'all a story, but I'm not gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna do another video about a story about a duende that allegedly took someone's, let's just say their family found out that being involved with a duende is not a good thing. I'm out.
I feel like as you get older, eventually everybody falls into like one of two camps. There's the first camp is people that just settle in and they just go, this is my life. I'm just going to keep doing this until I die, which is hopefully not going to be for a while. You know, they find their little spouse and their kids and their house or whatever, and they just find happiness and they find peace with that. And there's a lot of pros to that. The pro is that a lot of times you're a lot more comfortable, you're a lot more happy, there's less stress, there's less sadness. Still some of those things, just less. There's a lot more peace. The con is that you probably have to live most of your life with a deep feeling of unfulfilled potential in yourself, and that sucks. Okay? But there's the trade-off. Happiness, unfulfilled potential. The second camp are the chasers. The people that want to spend their entire life constantly chasing something, pursuing something. With these people, the pro is that you feel a lot more fulfillment in terms of how you're pursuing your actual intrinsic value as a human being, okay? The con is that you're lonely and sad. And typically, you go through these cycles of every 4 to 5 years, your life completely crumbles and you have to rebuild. But they like that. The chasers like that. They like that rebuilding. They like that, okay, just went through a breakup, just lost a job, business failed, whatever. I have nothing. Now I need to start again. They like it. And is it healthy? Probably not, but they like it. Okay? So really, eventually, 99.999% of people fall into one of those two buckets. There is a sneaky little third party, though, of people that just go, screw both of that. I'm not doing any of that. All of that sounds like a prison. What I'm going to do is get a job at a tiki bar and live on a beach for my entire life, and eventually I'll die poor. And I gotta tell you, every year of my life that goes by, those sounds pretty good. Starting to sound pretty good.
Rappers that actually caught bodies. Lash. Get him. Number 1, King Von. Hey, y'all know I'm not lying with
this guy is
Bro
very
is the
dangerous,
boogeyman. He did what the fuck he wanted. Bro had pending cases and was still going crazy. Treating his life like a GTA lobby. Like, dog, you can't make this shit up. Fire-ass music for sure. But I can't condone schmurder. Bro definitely has to be one of the best storytellers of all time, though. But if King Von says he will get right with your ass, no, he's for real. You might want to leave. Move you and your family out of here. Number 2, Gucci Mane. If you know, you fucking know, bruh. He is the definition of move in silence. If you don't believe this shit, just look up the Jeezy and Gucci Mane beef. If you don't know much about Gucci Mane, just look up the beef. That wasn't just a regular beef. That beef got a little fatal. Now, I'm being nice. It wasn't a little. How my mustache keep doing that shit. Y'all see that? Look like the fucking Monopoly Man. But yeah, if you decide to piss Gucci Mane off, you're just asking for it, bud. Because even if he doesn't have bodies, even if he never did a violent thing in his life, you shouldn't want to be made an example. Bro, it's still him. Number 3, K-Flock. If I remember correctly, isn't he in jail for murder and racketeering? Y'all let me know in the comment section. He's for sure about that life. Like, bro didn't cap in his songs at all. Now, I'm not glorifying this shit because schmurder is terrible. If you condone schmurder, I'm forced to not like you. But we can't act like K-Flock is not like that. Bro is definitely like that. I mean, to be honest, we already knew this shit. We already knew this shit about all the people on this list. But you wanna know what's crazy? Bro is the last one standing. No longer alive. In jail for a long time. But him? Oh yeah. Bro's a juggernaut.
And we've come to the end of the video. Interesting videos. I hope you liked it, because I enjoyed myself. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and also share with your friends. And also click on the notification bell icon so that any video that I post, you will be the first to get it. Adios amigos, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.